and welcome back to another episode of Tampa Bay Business Connections. And I'm not going to go into all the spiel because y'all know who we are, y'all know what we do, and we are here to talk to Miss Melissa Melrose.
Melissa Mabe from Melrose Enterprises. Yeah, you
I knew
got
I
it.
would mess up.
I knew
mess
you were.
everybody's
You're
up.
good. You're good. I answer to just about anything.
So, you know, we ask people for like information about what they do, and hold on, I'm like, I got a book. And these are just talking points, but so let's get right into it.
Okay, so yeah.
Event coordinator.
Event coordinator, and with that we do event project management, which means we can take the whole project on for you. That includes promotion and sponsorship sales. So if you need to do any fundraising or if you need to get out in front of the television stations, we can help you do that.
So if I wanted to have a WeBeam TV event where all my shows are there and I want everybody to come in and
Sure.
I mean, that's what you do.
That is one of the things I do, yeah.
That is, you take the
Amazing.
stress off.
I do. That is something that I found was needed. And I work with mostly small businesses, nonprofits, because they don't have those resources. They don't have that person that's on staff that can do that for them. I become their right arm for those types of events. And I'm not there to put my message out. I'm there to put their message out, your message out.
Okay, so you get the message, the marketing, and you help in the back end as well. So if I need someone to like, look, I need some sponsors, I need you to go sell, and
right, we can talk about that. First thing first. Let's figure out what your budget is.
Right.
What do you actually need, and then we work from there.
Okay.
So we can build towards something, and we can say, okay, well, we want to have a marching band and we want to have all of these things, but here's what we can afford right now, and then we'll add as we get more money.
Okay.
So that's where we start from. And the first year event is always going to be a little bit smaller than the next year. So
I've been to these first time events where I know for a fact that person put it on and they struggled. Oh, they struggled.
Oh yeah.
And they're just overwhelmed. By the time the day of the event, they're literally either on life support somewhere or
Well, that's why you bring me in. I have a team of about 10 people, and when we're doing festivals, that's what really is the magic part, is that you don't have to check in your vendors, check in your exhibitors, get everybody. My people do that. We do what we call a ballet.
Okay.
And so we orchestrate it so that people have a time to check in. They know where they're supposed to be going. Our people know where they're supposed to be going.
Right.
We get them in place, and it works pretty smoothly. Even if somebody comes in late, we can accommodate for that. But you don't have to worry about that.
So can you help find the venues as well?
Oh, absolutely. There are millions of venues. I mean, I'm being overly cautious on that. But yeah, there are so many venues in the Tampa Bay area. Heck, if you just wanted to have something on a rooftop, we can do on a rooftop. We can do, of course, fields. And
right.
It just really depends on what you need and how much money you have for resources. Because if you have a ballroom in a hotel, you're certainly going to have a lot more available to you than if you start fresh in a picnic shelter.
Right.
You have to bring everything in. Then the costs go up.
Okay. So I'm seeing, I've never heard committee coordination.
Okay, so if you're a nonprofit, most nonprofits work with a board. Okay. And then from that board, they create these event committees. So they're doing an event, a fundraiser. So they have a committee, and it's usually like herding cats.
I love that saying, herding cats. Oh my.
It literally is, you have to get a net and get everybody together on the same page. Well, that's what I'm good at. I bring people together, I get them all on the same page, and we have an agenda, and we work slowly towards the goal. And I try to get at least 6 months before a large event. We try to get that 6 months going, so that we have time to teach them what they need to know.
Okay, that's really the hard. I mean, I work with 4 nonprofits, and
Oh yeah, it's hard. It's very hard.
I love that term, herding cats.
Yeah,
because it is herding cats.
Well, and the great thing about nonprofits, and the reason I want to work with them, is because they do such great things, but they don't always know how to get there because they're coming in. They all have jobs. Right. They're working somewhere else. They're doing this out of love. So I try to give them the structure so that they can have a success.
Okay. So, milestone timeline tracking.
Milestones. Okay, so that's my mom always used to say, how do you eat an elephant one bite at a time? How do you take on a big project? Milestones. Okay, well, we have to have this done by this date.
Okay.
And we have to have this done by this date. And so that's something that we do. We have project management software that we keep that, and we keep on it so that we say, hey, look, we're a week behind on this. Now it's time to catch up. Where we go next? How are we going to get this accomplished?
And of course, with milestones comes budgeting. So you keep them in that world of, hey, we know you want AC/DC, but you probably only get Uncle Bob's band.
Right. And the first thing I like to do coming into the first meeting is, let's get realistic.
Right.
Do you have a budget for advertising if it's a public event? No? Okay, let's get really creative on what we can do for minimal amounts of money.
Okay.
And that will give you a realistic view also of how many people you can expect to get there.
Right.
If you can't spend the money to advertise, well, here's what you can expect for a first-year event. Now, I will say we did one first-year event last year. We got 10,000 people. But we also had free television. I got all the networks to give me free airtime. That helped.
Right.
Certainly, and we had a success. And this year we're doubling.
Wow.
We're
That's
doubling
awesome.
what we're able to do.
Okay.
So, and also our sponsorship, because once you have that success, the sponsors see that and they feel comfortable giving you their money.
Oh, that is awesome. So, so when you put these events on, you already have. So if I come to you and go, oh, look, I've got an event, but I have no drape. You know where to go.
Oh, absolutely.
So you deal with all the vendors or rental.
If you
and all
need
the
a person
services.
dancing lit up like that looks like cotton candy, I can get you that. Do you need?
I just like to have that at home. That would be cool.
Do you need penguins to go down the aisle? I can get you that. What do you need? We can find it, and we can find a reputable vendor to supply it.
Right. Okay. So we've sat down. We've gone through the whole budget, the timeline, whole 9 yards. So, but okay, I could use some sponsors.
Right.
So you can help there as well.
Right. Well, when we're working with a nonprofit, for instance, because most of the times these festivals are fundraisers.
Right.
So you're working with a nonprofit, you have a board. Now, the job of a board is supposed to be to help you fundraise.
No, they ruin everything.
And
I'm being mean.
they
Sorry.
don't always know their role.
Right.
So in nonprofits, you should have work, wealth, and wisdom. So it should be equally divided among those. And the wealth has to know other wealth so that they can invite their friend in who owns the car dealer down the street or what have you. So you get some of those in place, but also we do have some corporate sponsors that follow us and want to come to our events. And we say to them, hey, here's an opportunity, and then they can tell us if it fits with their marketing plan or not.
Right. Well, that's okay. So now that almost runs you into public relations.
Absolutely. PR is a big thing. A lot of this is what they call optics. Okay. So you have to look at what are you trying to get across, what's your message. And PR is the free side of marketing. So you're not necessarily paying for PR, but it's also the most crucial because it's a conversation. So social media is a huge PR tool, as well as, like I said, the free television that I get, or even the online component, because there's hundreds of online websites that just promote events, but you have to know them and you have to know who follows them. And then again, it's PR and marketing because you're identifying your audience and speaking to them.
So websites, the social media, stuff like that, that would be your marketing support. Right.
Exactly.
And knowing where to put them, how to put them, and when to put them is a big deal.
Right. And if you actually have a marketing budget, then you go to radio and digital, and then you do things like geocaching and, like geofencing and all sorts of fun little things that you can do and start identifying people that you want to get to. But that's if you have a budget. If you don't, we do the other.
So we get all this in place, right? You've got you're keeping them on track. You're getting everything booked in there. You're getting something. Now, so the day of the event, are you hands off at that point?
Oh no.
Or are you hands on?
No. I am so hands on.
Okay.
Like I said, I have my team of 10 people. We are getting everybody in place, and then throughout the day, we're checking in on things, making sure that all the volunteers have what they need. We're making sure that electricity, because things inevitably in an event, Things go wrong.
Oh, yeah.
And part of my job is to know how to handle something going wrong. So electricity, somebody doesn't have electricity. That inevitably happens at any event. It's finding the electrician, it's finding the fuse box, it's getting him back up and running as quickly as possible. So we have people that just do that and are just for that. Garbage, of course, making sure that the toilets are clean and they've got toilet paper, and it's a glamorous job.
We know one of the biggest complaints at a ton of, I mean, we do a ton of events.
Yeah.
The bathrooms aren't clean.
Oh, yeah. Well, and that's a kind of a point with me, because I only hire, there's only a couple of companies I work with for restrooms. And I've been very lucky. I work in a lot of parks, so we're allowed to use their restroom facilities as well as portalettes. So there's always, because I will tell you, most women will not go in a portalette. They will hold it for 4 hours.
My wife will not go in one.
Exactly.
Just saying.
So it's nice. It's nice to be able to have the facilities there, but the facilities then need to be cleaned. The ones that we can clean.
Right.
And I do have my people check all the portalettes as well, just to make sure nothing heinous has happened in there. And to make sure there's toilet paper. I always have the extra supply. I have I have an RV on site, and we have all our supplies in there. So if we need to, we can make sure that everything's taken care of. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to. Can you? Okay. We got about 2 minutes left.
2 minutes. Great.
Give me 3 of your biggest ones you've done.
3 of the biggest ones I've done. Well,
let's say last year. 3 of your biggest last year.
Well, last year we did these Safety Harbor. It was art and seafood on the waterfront.
Oh, yes.
I do a lot of corporate events, so I can't always talk about those.
Okay. All right. I understand that.
But I did some very large corporate events. I can't mention their names.
I know one you did do is FusionCon.
FusionCon, yes, we love Mark Croftus. Yep. Shout out to Mark Croftus. We love him so much. For 5 years, my company handled the Safety Harbor Song Fest, which handled.
Remember that?
It was national acts. We had Steep Canyon Rangers. We had Robin Zander from Cheap Trick. We had, just a ton of people. And it was so much fun, such a great crowd. It was a ticketed event, so that has its own set of challenges.
Right.
But yeah, those are the types of events. Now, going back in my history, what I used to do, I worked for a very large event company when I was cutting my teeth in this business. We did Gasparilla.
Oh, wow.
We did all the Target store openings in the Southeast.
Right.
We did, I actually did my own balloon festival.
Oh, my.
That's where I met my husband, in a hot air balloon festival.
So I'm going to stop right there. What's the number one reason people hire you?
People hire me because they can trust me. They can trust my people. They can trust my ability to problem solve and my detail, my attention to detail. That's it.
That is awesome. Okay, so what's your website?
That is Melrose, Melrose, the number 4, the letter U.com.
And let's put up her phone number. What's that phone number?
813-918-2290.
All right, so don't go anywhere.
Don't go anywhere.
Because you know what? We got great guests coming up, so we'll be right back after this. All right, we're back. Now, we're going to get serious because this is serious stuff we're going to talk about.
Not that serious.
It's the HR world. This is, I'm sorry, Barry Rubin.
Correct. John?
How you doing, everybody?
Good to
Thanks
see
for
you.
coming on the show.
It's a pleasure. Thanks for having
let's
us.
talk about HR.
Okay, let's.
Because most of the time, it's like getting called to the principal's office when you've got to go see them.
Right.
And there's so much has changed in the last, and to me, it's the last 10 years. It seems like it's been the big chunk of the change. Let's talk about that HR world.
All right, let's.
Okay, so why is it so strict?
It's not necessarily strict, but there has to be some policy, obviously, that stays compliant with federal, state, and local laws. So there is a lot of serious discussion happening because you're dealing with people's lives and people's businesses. So in a lot of cases, in almost every case, we need to make sure things are done fairly, squarely, and right at the right time.
Okay, so now what does direct HR do?
So we are a consultant that provides really 4 core competencies. We do workforce asset management, which is time clocks, scheduling, job costing, and those types of systems. We do payroll through payroll processing and through a PEO, of course.
Okay.
And then, of course, HR compliance, staying compliant with, again, all of the state, federal, and municipal code, and they change all the time. With the new year, we had some changes. And then, of course, employee group benefits, which encompasses all of your health insurance, life insurance, 401k, and all the other ancillary insurances the companies offer.
But you're not like an employee leasing company.
We're not. We work with employee leasing companies.
Okay.
We work with HROs and ASOs, which are just acronyms for other types of employee leasing companies, to make sure that our clients get the best services at the lowest possible costs.
Okay, so now do you work with my HR or do you become my HR?
We can do both. So it really
really?
depends on the needs of the client. So in most cases, smaller companies like yours and companies like the preponderance of our clients don't have an HR company. So they rely on us to do the handbooks, to do the pre-hire forms and those types of things. Some of our larger clients, and there are some of those as well, that have a full HR staff, we just supplement what they don't do.
Okay, all right. Because I've always wondered, saying one day my company may be big enough, but I guess I don't have to be big.
Right.
I can be small and go, okay, Barry is my HR guy.
Correct.
And you'll handle the hiring and
Right, everything
firing
from assisting with job applications, right on through to the interviews,
background checks,
the background checks, the drug checks, the drug-free workplace certifications, everything from getting the right coding for your workers' comp, right to the first paycheck and right on from there.
Let's talk about the hiring process.
Okay.
Okay, so it used to be, I'm old.
All right.
I'd walk in, hey, I need a job. What do you do? Can you do it? Yeah, I can do it. All right, you're hired.
Off you go.
And then handshake, and then you get a paycheck at the
Right.
end of the week going,
Get up on that roof, start nailing in the shingles. Right,
But
right.
that's all changed now, right?
It has, and it has to have changed because for a lot of reasons. One, making sure you're allowed to work in this country legally. That has become a huge program in today's White House.
Right.
They've changed twice now since we've had a change of administration. The I-9 form, which actually proves your ability to work in this country legally. The other thing that's happening right now is E-Verify, which is a thing that they use in certain states, which electronically verifies the employee's right to work in those states. Just Monday, Governor DeSantis suggested that we bring that into Florida. It's not something we use currently,
Right.
and that'll be discussed, I'm sure, ad nauseum with legislation in the legislature and in Senate this session, which is happening right now.
Okay. So once I've hired, or once you hired for me,
Okay.
by being my
Well, you're deciding to make the hire. It's your
Oh,
employee,
okay.
right? It's
So,
your employee.
All right. And so now, as they go along, all of a sudden I'm having some issues with this employee, and he's not kind of doing what he needs to do. So instead of me having to sit him down and go, okay, look, I need you to go meet my HR person and let
You could certainly do that. Again, most cases we would assist you in making sure the reviews are done correctly, any type of discipline forms are filled out correctly to prevent any long-term troubles. And those long-term troubles can be very expensive.
Yes.
If you get involved with the EEOC, which is the Equal Employment. So if you violate that in any way, we want to make sure that's not violated, because that can get very, very expensive if you break any rules as far as disciplining a an employee or terminating an employee who would meet those criteria.
Right.
So we want to make sure that everything's documented, make sure that any troubles that are happening along the way are documented correctly, and you do the right thing for your company and your other employees. You know, a lot of times, John, like you mentioned, sometimes it's like one of the principal, but you need to protect the entire organization.
Correct.
All those other employees, all the families of those other employees count on you to make sure it's done right. So we can't let one bad apple upset the entire apple cart.
Right.
Right.
And then you also help me with payroll.
Absolutely.
And I'm just using me as the example.
Yeah,
So
no,
I'm like,
absolutely. We
okay,
can certainly help you with payroll.
How does that work?
Okay, so your employees would be your employees, obviously. If you wanted them to use one of our time systems, or if you just paid them a salary, that information would be submitted to us via electronically, or however you're doing it now. We have clients who still like to fax it in, some like to call it in. You know, some people just won't get with the 20th century,
Right.
or we're even in the 21st century.
Email's the thing.
Yeah, so we do provide each of our clients a software which allows them to post their times.
Okay.
If they're using one of our time and attendance clock systems, or even a web-based system or an app on the phone, that will automatically transfer the times over.
Right.
And then the payroll's processed. The paychecks are sent, or they're direct deposited into the employees' accounts. We even have now a global cash card, to where if someone's underbanked, and that's a huge part of the population now, where they can't get a checking account or a savings account, they will have a debit card, which will have their funds put directly onto the debit card, and they would use it just as they could you'd use a credit card or an ATM card.
That is awesome.
Yeah, it's actually great for the underbanked, because it saves them the trouble, pardon me, of going to an AmScot and the expense
Oh, yeah.
or figuring out how to cash that check. So it really
Or
does
Uncle
secure
Bob's
it.
liquor store.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah, and that,
charge them $20 to cash it.
correct. And the other problem is now they're leaving AmScot with a lump sum of money.
Right.
And then they're at risk for having that stolen or having it lost. Or this way they have it secured on a bank card. It's actually secured, and
Something
they can
goes
use it.
wrong, they give you a call.
Exactly
say,
right.
We'll stop it.
It's just like your Visa card. Right.
awesome.
Yeah, it's a great idea.
Now, okay, so say I'm big enough to offer insurance, and that all comes out, and
Well, if you're big enough, you're required to offer insurance.
that is true.
Right.
See.
So it's
I tried to
right.
throw a little,
But until
jig-a-jag in there, and it didn't work.
Right, yeah, you're not going to get one over on. That was an awful long time.
I love that.
But it's people have tried. Let me tell you, and they'll continue to try. And I appreciate it. But all right, so let's talk about you want to offer insurance. So
Right.
you have a group of 3 or 4 or 5 employees. The problem now is you're too small really to go out and buy your own insurance. It
Correct.
gets very, very expensive.
Right.
That's why most small employers can't offer it. What we can do is bundle you into what's called a master plan. The master plan lets you offer insurance of a very large corporation. You know, the same insurance like a Microsoft or anyone, a Walmart would be able to offer, because you're buying into a very, very large group. And what some of our master plans are able to do is take a group like yours, hundreds of groups like yours, and
Right.
bundle them together, and now you're able to be affordable insurance that's a decent insurance.
So now I can offer my company or my guys
A top quality
top quality
insurance
insurance
at a
and not
reasonable
having to
cost.
worry about, oh my God, there's no way I'm going to buy a big group plan because I'm just not big enough.
Correct.
That is
Correct.
absolutely
And not
phenomenal.
just health insurance. You're able to offer life, you're able to offer dental, you're able to offer vision, you're able to offer long-term care, and a 401k if you choose to.
Aflac.
And Aflac, of course.
see, that's
so
awesome.
there's other options besides Aflac
Oh, I
as well.
know. Everybody knows Aflac.
Yeah, that's the accident insurance. So there are a myriad of benefits that would come to your employees. That helps with retention, because it's a lot more expensive to get a new employee than it is to retain an old
Yes.
employee. And employees leave not for that extra 15 or 30 cents an hour. They leave because the insurance is better in most
Right.
cases. They also feel that I'm part of this company. They're investing in me, and that's what an insurance package does. The other thing that insurance does that's big, especially in some of the trades. I don't know how much time we have left, but
We got about 4 minutes.
oh,
Right?
so what happens a lot in the trades, we try to encourage our clients in that industry to have insurance, because folks will come in on a Monday. Let's say they have an injury over the weekend, and they'll come in on a Monday and they didn't go to the doctor because they didn't have insurance. They start to work, something hurts, they say they go to the doctor now. They ask, the doctor asks, what did this happen? And they tell the truth. They say, it really started at work. It didn't really start at work, but they remember it starting to hurt again at work.
Right.
So they file a workers' comp claim. Now your workers' comp goes up for years and years and years.
Right.
And you could have avoided that simply by offering insurance. The employees would have taken care of it over the weekend, and it would not have become a workers' comp claim.
That is absolutely phenomenal.
It's a big problem.
Now, I know we've talked about it a lot, but I always, I try to. Is there anything that I'm missing?
You've covered it pretty good, John. You're good at your job. Yeah, I'm
Well,
impressed.
I mean,
I'm
it's-
impressed.
this to me, and I'm just going to give you from a personal standpoint, to me this makes a lot of sense because I'm a small company,
Right.
And I try to do what I can for the guys that work with me.
Right.
But I've never been able. I've always wanted to find a way to potentially offer that insurance.
Right.
And it's,
Well, we're happy to
me,
help you.
Oh, see, help.
I'll give you my card.
So how do people get a hold of you?
So you can give us a call. I'm at 727-898-8463. I'm personally extension 103. If you want to speak to me, hit 103, you'll get me directly. Or you can give us on our website. You can certainly look us up there.
All that information is on
And
there.
it's all on the screen there, I'm sure. And it'll all be there, and you just give us a call, and we'll be happy to come out and see you and see what we can do to
So
help.
how long have you been in this world?
We've been in business here in Florida 23 years. So we have seen quite a few changes,
Wow.
as you can imagine.
You have seen the changes, haven't you?
Yeah.
Good, bad, ugly.
Yeah, it was a little town when we got here.
What were they thinking?
Yeah.
Did you ever had those moments? Where
Oh, we've had
I
lots
can't
of what
believe
were
they
they
just
thinking.
Did that.
Oh, we could go on and on and on for days about what were they thinking. Absolutely. And sometimes I wake up and wonder what I was thinking.
Oh, well, I was gonna say. So, okay, the same questions I asked the lady before us,
Okay.
Melissa, is what would you think if I ask your customers, what are they going to tell me about direct HR?
Okay, that's a good, fair question. So what our customers will tell you, and what we hope they always will, is that regardless of size, they get treated like they want to be treated. So we have a great history in taking very small companies and turning them into very large companies. And we're able to do that because we treat everybody the same, and we treat them exactly like the golden rule says, just like we would like to be treated, and making sure that all the T's are crossed and all the I's are dotted, and that we're fair to employer and employee the same, and that we just look after everybody like their family.
So I don't have to worry about getting a phone call going, hey, this wasn't done, taxes weren't done, payroll wasn't done
No.
right. It's all going to get spot on.
Those calls do not
I's are
happen.
dotted and
T's are crossed.
So we got about a minute left. I'm going to ask you. I didn't get to ask Melissa this, but
Okay.
So what do you think about RGA?
I love RGA.
Tell me about.
Yeah.
You got about 35, 30 seconds.
So I've been involved in chambers of commerce and other groups with small businesses. Small business is really where I live. I mean, that's my passion for small business. So RGA is a tremendous assembly of different types of small businesses, and the people there are really like family. I have some have become some of my closest friends. It's just a tremendous organization, and I couldn't say enough good things about RGA.
Mark's a pretty good guy.
Mark is a pretty good guy.
I like that. So I like Mark. I think he's a
Yeah,
great guy. So
there's no doubt about it.
stick around. Again, don't go anywhere because the next two people coming on can take a picture and make you look really, 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 really good. So we'll be right back after this. Okay, we're back. I'm going to talk to something really even more serious than HR. Getting your freaking pictures taken the right way. I'm sorry, that's a pet peeve of me. This is not a camera.
Thank you.
It is a camera, but it's not a camera. So I'm here with Bob and Arlene, captured by Arlene.
That's right.
And you guys are professional photographers.
Yes.
Let's talk about your world
Yeah.
and what you do and why people need to use you.
Well, the difference between using your camera phone, which is great, it is great when you're putting something up on Instagram or on something on your wall. But if you want a professional picture with the right lighting like we have right now, and you want to show you and not your background and not what's going on, you want to show you, that's when you call us.
Yes, and so much of it is so important, the way you're positioned, things of that nature. It's really, if you see a professional photo next to the selfie photo, you can tell it in the business world.
There's so many times that I'll go and we'll look at Instagram and we all do, and Facebook and Twitter, and I'll go, oh, that was a cell phone. And then you'll get every now and then go, oh, that was a camera. and I'm not trying to get, flirty or whatever, but it's like the Instagram girls, the cosplay girls, you can tell when they've done it themselves with their own pictures,
Right.
and then they've used and then you can see these portraits, you're like, whoa.
Right.
And it's a difference, right?
It is.
Because it's about your experience, your eye, the lighting, the
That's
camera,
right.
the lens. Everybody thinks, I'll run out to Best Buy and I'll buy me a camera and I'm a photographer.
Right.
No, it doesn't work that way.
Right.
Because, it's the body that does the work, but that glass.
Absolutely. That's where you put your money into, is the glass. And then that's when I know we have an array of lenses that we're always constantly changing out. And that's why I do have, someone helping me, and we always work together. And he knows, before I even have to say it, he'll know which lens to give me before I even ask for it.
And that's good, right? I mean,
Right.
You got to know. It's the experience. I can't emphasize enough how much experience in this world counts.
That's right.
And it's like everybody and their brother wants to either be a videographer or they're a filmmaker, or they're a photographer, and then they just quit a job that's paying good money because someone said, "Oh, that shot looked great. You should be a photographer." Well, that's what I'm going to do now. Hey. But so let's talk about what kind of events and stuff you like to do.
Well, we love events. We love going to your corporate event and making sure that it's logged. You put all this money into your event. You put thousands of dollars, and then you're going to take your camera and get a grainy, dark shot of that beautiful centerpiece that you just spent $100 each table, or the food that you just spent on, right?
Right, you have got a grainy shot, but not only that, but for the future, you can use all these photos for promotions, for promoting your corporate events, for promoting your company. If you're wanting to recruit good people, they need to know that they're coming into an environment that they're going to enjoy.
Right.
And who's going to pay a ticket of $100 when they see that shot compared to our shot? Our shot
Right.
is going to be, it's going to show your work and what you put into it versus, wow, they don't even put the money into photography. In my mind, that's the first thing I would think.
Right. We had Melissa on, so Melissa's worked so hard to get these events put together, and then they bring in you guys who are just going to make it look stellar,
Right.
And they have, that means that there's more future marketing material
Exactly.
right there. Right there. Now, we didn't talk about this beforehand, but I'm pretty sure I already know the answer. So you go and you take 1,000 pictures,
Right.
And then you go back. The client gets the 1,000 pictures, right?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
See, there's so
For
many,
that event, yes.
Right. So many people are like, "Well, I didn't get all my pictures." You didn't work with the right professional.
Right.
That's what the problem was, So, okay, so you really, I think I've asked you this question. You don't do weddings, but you would do a wedding if someone really wanted to hire you, right?
We're very selective on our weddings.
There you
We're
go.
very selective, but because we want to put 100% into it,
Yes.
it is a lot. We take it on to heart. It is your big day, and we want to put 100%. And if we're doing 10 weddings, 20 weddings a year, we're not doing that. So we really have scaled back to about 5 weddings a year.
So how long have you two been doing this? Because I love talking about, I love the experience side of it.
Good.
6 years we've been doing this and
Nice.
working hard at it, and just getting our name out. And one of the best ways to do it is get on Best of the Bay, you know?
You got Best of the Bay. That is
Yes.
that is phenomenal.
Yes, it was great. Someone nominated us. We love you, whoever did that. And then we kind of put a little legwork into it ourselves, and it was awesome.
Yes, it turned out great. There's a lot of photographers that were in the
yeah.
competition. I'd like to step back too. One thing about the corporate events and any event we do, whether it's family photography, we don't just go around and snap a shot. We interact with the people too. We make sure they're good with getting the photos, that we take a photo of them, and we just have a good time with them. We pull out the personality that they have there. We make it fun. It's not just someone there taking
Just
your picture.
snapping away.
Right.
Right.
We make it
And
fun.
yeah,
It's
we make sure
interactive.
that that drink you have in your hand is what you want to portray to the people on wherever it's going to go.
Or
you
not.
know? Or not. You may not want that. So
Right.
a lot of photographers may not think of that, and we do. We're just all about, oh, your shirt's a little low. Are you sure that's what you want? You know, things like that. We really do. We are on detail. We make sure
You
the
set
detail.
the shot.
Yes,
We do.
every time.
And there's so many times I've seen, and it drives me insane. You take a picture and there's dirty dishes over here,
Oh,
or there's
no.
a
We're
napkin over
constantly
there,
moving.
or there's a pile of plates. You're like,
Or you're right in front of the restroom sign. It's like,
Yes.
can we just step over a little bit? It's yeah.
wait a little bit.
Yeah, when I see those pictures from photographers, I'm like, oh, you could have just stepped over 2 feet, 2 feet.
You know, me and my TD back here, we're always looking at videos going, they could have just moved over 2
I
feet.
know,
It would have
Yes.
been such
I
a
know.
beautiful shot. But
Exactly.
no, just where's that? It's all good.
Exactly.
So what kind of equipment do you guys have in-house?
Go ahead.
We have a Nikon D750. That's what we work with the most.
Yep.
We have 3 cameras, and we have several photographers that we work with.
Okay.
So they have their own equipment. They come in and we work together. There's tiers of photography, so I'm the master photographer, and then there's other photographers that will go to events if you have a different budget. But mostly they ask for me.
That's okay.
So that's what we do.
Now we also have a portable studio.
Okay.
We do headshots, things of that nature.
Nice.
We're portable. We can come to your place location, office, wherever it is. If we have a 10 by 10 space, we can set up a studio.
During your lunch.
So
lighting backdrop.
how about this? If I have an event
Mm-hmm.
and I want on-site photography done for everybody there, I just want you to take everybody's picture. They come up there, you stand in front of our wall or
We
a
love
green
that.
screen or something like
Yes.
that. And you kind of make it fun. You guys can
Yes.
do that. Kind
Oh,
Oh, yes,
100
we
well,
love
that's
it.
what we're going to be doing at the Kiwanis Gala, and that's what we did at the Imagination Gala for the Glaziers. It's just if you want to put your step and repeat up, we can do it there, or we can set up our own backdrops, however you want. The more people, the merrier.
That's awesome.
It just comes, and again, he keeps saying it and you keep saying it, and I just want to reiterate, it's about the experience. When people come in front of our camera, they don't step back and go, wow, that was good. It's like, oh, wow, we had so much fun. And,
Right.
and they're like, oh, can I bring this person in? And they're coming back in front of our camera because
Right.
they had a good experience, and they want to share it with their friends that are at the wedding, at the party, at the event.
That's-
We do have a studio also if someone just wants to
Yes.
come
I
to
was
the
going to
studio.
ask that. So you guys,
Yes.
you're not just mobile. You have a studio.
Yes.
Yes, we do.
Okay, and where's that studio located?
It's in Wesley Chapel.
Wesley Chapel.
Off-
Okay.
Yep, off State Road
By
54.
appointment only?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, yes. Always
Yes,
find
So
absolutely.
you
something.
can't walk in and get I want a glam shot.
No, you may
No.
not. Now we could walk into your place if you asked us to, but no, you
Okay.
can't just walk
No.
in.
All right, and how far? Okay, what is the distance that you like to work in? Because I mean, we at Tampa Bay Multimedia and Weaving TV, we have we won't go beyond a certain distance because we just know it gets kind of pricey.
Right.
Actually, we'll try to work within a 50-mile radius,
Smart.
but we will go for, with
Just a
expenses
small-
and so forth, we
yeah.
will go out.
Just
You'll
a
do-
small nominal fee. Like if
Yeah.
you, like St. Pete's a little bit far, so it'd be only $25 more.
Oh.
Hawaii,
nothing-
Hawaii would be a little bit more.
Yes, Hawaii would be a little bit more.
A little bit more.
We would
Yeah.
love it though.
Fiji.
You're more than welcome to hire us for a while.
Oh, and the beach. You go to the beach.
Oh,
Oh,
yes.
yes.
Yeah.
Love
Yeah.
the beach.
Okay, so
Yeah.
where can people find? Where can I go see some of your work?
Yes, you would go to capturebyarlene.com.
I love it. That's awesome.
I'm also on Facebook. We also have a presence on Facebook.
Yes, and
Capture
Instagram.
by Arlene.
Now, do you
Business.
have an Instagram so you show?
Yes.
So you can show, and of course you get permission from everybody to show some of the work, but so people can really, because Instagram, for my world, it doesn't work really, but for photos, it's just absolutely phenomenal.
Right.
Yes,
right.
absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
You have
Instagram.
Oh,
Okay.
yes, we definitely
Yes.
have an Instagram.
Okay, so, all right, I'm trying to make sure that I get everything because let's talk about lenses.
Yes.
Okay, so you must have a plethora
Yes.
of lenses.
Yes.
So you have the portrait, the shorts, the longs, the wides, the telos. I mean, we were at an event this past weekend, and the lens was bigger than the lady carrying it.
Oh, yeah.
It's
yeah.
like,
Yes.
really? I
Yeah.
mean, she's like, here we go. We're going to put this up there. I got this. And she's like,
Yeah.
I'm like, that's not
No,
good.
that you'd have to have a tripod for that
Right.
one. No way. No.
So you have all that gear.
Yes.
Nothing to worry about.
No.
Oh, that is so good. So, like I say, we got about 2.5 minutes left. Let's talk about a little bit of RGA.
Okay.
So how you like RGA?
Oh, we love RGA.
Oh, yes.
Oh, my goodness.
We're team leaders at RGA. We've been team leaders for 3 years.
Okay.
We started at a location in New Tampa at Glory Days. Management there is awesome. They've worked with us
Yes.
great. We've stayed there. They've treated us well, but RGA has been great for our business. We've seen quite a few people that it's been awesome for. A lot of, some say 70% of the business comes through RGA.
Wow.
Yes.
Yes, but
Yes.
It's a great organization. As you mentioned, Mark is an awesome guy. Mark is a genius at marketing. If you sit down and talk to him, he is just unbelievable. He thinks outside of the box all
Right.
the time, and that's what makes him so well. He just comes right off the cuff with things.
Right. Normally, he's sitting out there egging you on, or making fun of you, whichever it is that day. He couldn't make tonight. So the next segment you're going to see is the original, actually the original interview that I got to do with Mark here last month. So, okay. So what have I missed? I don't want to miss anything. What else do we need to talk about? I mean, you got.
So we do family portraits also.
Okay.
So we'll
Yes.
go on location. The beautiful thing is most people don't want to be in a studio. So we'll go
Yeah.
to Felipe Park. We'll go to
Your
Lettuce
home.
Lake Park.
We'll go
Your
to your
home.
home.
We'll do lifestyle photography
Yes.
in your home, baking cookies. Your little one coming around the corner with her blinky, if that's
Okay.
what you want. Your whole family on your bed. We can do that. We can whatever you can dream up. We can do because it's not what we want, it's what you want. And we always try to get you to
Yes.
like maybe show us from our website or from Pinterest
Okay.
what you're looking for. Because I never want to walk away and you say, those were good, but they weren't us. I never want to hear that.
No.
Never.
And
So you guys pay attention to the trends, right? So,
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Okay, so is the white shirt and blue jeans still in?
we still do some of those.
Just ask.
Every
Still a
time,
lot of
that's
those.
correct. Every time I see those, I say,
Okay, so we just did one in Felipe Park, and what I did, they kind of mentioned it, and I said, why don't you go to Pinterest and look at the color wheel and the color, just look up color photos and the wardrobe, and what they did is they came up with this beautiful, they did maroons, yellows, and blues,
Ooh,
navy
that
blues.
sounds pretty.
Oh, with that green backdrop, it was gorgeous. And then you could do other things. You could do, like, let's say you have the navy blue, but you have yellow as your pop color. So the mom could wear a belt that's yellow, the little girl could have a ribbon in her hair that's yellow, and then the dad could have a bow tie that's yellow. You can do it uniform, but not do it uniform. You don't want to all look the same.
See, that's great. Thinking outside the box and knowing what's going on in this world, you just can't go wrong with using someone that knows what they're talking
That's
about.
right.
I'm here with Mark O'Donnell from RGA. Now, Tampa Bay Business Connections, all about getting all the networking groups together in the Tampa Bay area and giving them kudos on the air.
I like it.
Because you guys work hard.
We do work
And
hard.
you work very hard.
Thank you.
Because it's not just something you do part-time.
No, I
this
do it
is your
full-time.
world.
This
It's like,
is-
okay, tell me about RGA. And what does RGA stand for? First of all?
RGA stands for, well, it stands for several things.
I
the
like
first
that.
one is revenue generating activities.
Okay.
Because we believe what you do from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. is a revenue generating activity. It's also really great alternative. There's a lot of stuffy networking groups out there
Yes.
that, you know, if you miss a meeting or you don't watch a podcast or you don't pass a referral, you get your hand slapped. And we only think you should get your hand slapped as if you're in a movie theater with a girl and you do something inappropriate.
There you go.
Then you should get your hand slapped. But it's really great attitude, really great alternative. There's a lot of
That's
RGAs.
a lot. I like
is
that.
a lot. But it's revenue generating activities. So we believe what you do from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. should be a revenue generating activity for your business. So we have breakfast and lunch meetings all over Tampa Bay, and we are growing. We're in Fort Myers, St. Louis, Nashville, beautiful Midtown Lakeland. I know. Can you believe it?
So what made you start RGA?
Well, the Reader's Digest condensed version.
We've got 11 minutes.
Oh, we
you
have
hit
11
it, buddy.
minutes. Okay, so there was a different three group, and there were way too many rules and restrictions for my kind of thing. And then there was this group that was completely free, and they were really great folks. And it just seemed like they were expecting the referral god to drop referrals as we prayed for and gave
Got
gratitude
it.
for. And I'm not against any of those things, but when
Right.
you come to a business meeting, it should be structured and organized where you can get either learn something or get a connection that should turn into closed business.
And how long have you been? How long has RGA been around?
RGA's been around this. We're going into 2020 as our 10th year. So we have a lot coming up. I mean, a lot of stuff coming up. We're doing Now Publishing is writing books. RGA is going to write the book on networking.
That's awesome.
I know, it's kind of like mind blown. We've grown our organization where we have highlighted two of our leaders that have kind of elevated to what we call a director position. They'll help me as we grow our organization nationwide. Lisa Jordan with Accent American and Jason Esterline with Intuitive Performance Solutions, which is a mouthful. And then we have team leaders all over Tampa Bay and growing.
Okay, so all of you at home know that. Okay, so I belong to a networking group and they're huge and blah blah blah. Tell these people at home really how big you are. How many members?
We're over 800. Our goal is to have 1,000 by March 2020.
800
There's
people.
800 referral partners that, and they work together. So we're not a seat-specific organization. That's one of the biggest separations of us. And I love our Largo Seminole chapter because we have 6 realtors. One realtor really focuses on the beaches and condominiums. One realtor focuses on first-time home buyers. One realtor is a commercial realtor, so they're only dealing with warehouse space and land purchases. One focuses exclusively on the countryside area of Pinellas.
Okay.
Which I kind of thought, okay. And then a couple of the other ones are downtown St. Pete in the high-rise building. So everybody brings a special gift where if they're in the other group.
See, I love the fact that it's everybody's welcome. I've been to groups and I belong to groups where if someone else comes in there just to visit, people have a hissy fit.
They do. They do.
And the cool thing, there is not a day, if I'm right, out of the 5-day work week, there's not one single day that does not have at least 1 or 2 or 3
or 7 RGA. Yes.
Right.
It's funny. We've actually had members who've, I think it's a 10 meeting level that they've been to 10 different meetings. Breakfast meeting, lunch meeting, evening meeting, mixer,
Right.
different RGAs. That's a little overkill, even from the founder himself. But you're able to replicate yourself because each chapter has a book that houses business cards in it. So even when you're not there,
Right.
your business card could be. But one of our members says he enjoys going to the different chapter meetings because he's able to see somebody that he's familiar with and meet new connections. So he always feels, and he says every chapter meeting is run the same. So it doesn't matter whether you're in Newport Richey or you're in Fort Myers.
Fort Myers. My marketing guy is like, I have to pick and choose every week. I'm like, I know. So this week you go to these, and the next week you go to these, and the next week you go to the breakfast, and then go to these.
Right.
I was, when we first started talking about doing the Tampa Bay Business Connection show, I'm like, okay, well, it won't be a big deal. We'll go to 1 or 2. We'll hit like 4 out of the week. RGA alone has got us. 12 o'clock is pretty much RGA all week. And he goes, when do I go to the other ones? Like, I don't know. know. That's up to you.
Why
man.
would you go to the other ones?
Well, and the thing is that's open. We're open this all up, but it's kind of funny. I put the blast out to all the networking groups that we knew about, and you got it. I mean,
Well,
you
yeah.
understood it, which
I
was
knew your reputation, and that's how networking should work.
Right.
There shouldn't be any partisan lines. There shouldn't be any seat-specific anything, because you should be able to do business with somebody you like, you know, and you trust.
So give us, last week, I'm going to brag on you. Last week we were at Stumpy's.
Stumpy's Hatchet House. How cool is that?
I as many network groups as I've done in all these events, I've never done it at a place where you can throw a hatchet and drink. That was amazing.
We did buy a one-day policy for $300,000 because I thought all we need is Ken to cut off a finger from throwing an hatch. Lisa would be like, Mark. Yeah, it was a one-day
But it was
policy.
and that's the kind of, so you do your normal meetings.
We
you
do,
have
we
the normal
do.
meetings, but you have the open, or what is it, open mixers?
Kind
or
of
just-
open networking mixers where anybody's invited. And, you know, we have a theory at RGA. There's some mixers and meetings that are like hundreds of people. You usually, when you go someplace, only meet 5 or 6 people that you really connect with. So having those hundreds of people do you no good, because there's 95 people you never met.
Right.
So the smaller, more intimate gatherings, you at least get to meet and be introduced to everyone. And then there's 5 people you gravitate to. Stumpy's is a member of RGA, and it was just delighted to know the interest we took in them and how to kind of propel the gift-giving season.
Right.
You know, I thought that was a great idea for a door prize to buy a trip back to Stumpy's Hatchet House. And, you know, it was funny. We really thought there would be a big, like, it would be a male-dominated sport. And as we know, the women were better axe throwers.
Yes, they were.
So I don't know
Yes,
if
they
that's
were.
a takeoff from
Yeah.
Lizzie Borden or, or what. But
That's awesome.
yeah, we started to say, well, you need to start throwing like a girl,
Right.
because they're hitting the target and making it stick.
So, and the good thing is about what we do as WeBeam TV is we're actually going to do a live stream from there one night. And so instead of being in the studio here in Tampa, we're actually going to follow them on their locations, because the locations you guys have is absolutely
They're
phenomenal.
pretty clever. We have one, it's a monthly mixer. It's usually the first Thursday of the month. It's at 3C's Catering. And the nice thing about it is the mixer always benefits a charity, and the 3C's Catering donates the food. So it's a $5 entry fee.
Right.
And you get to meet people from all over the network, because it's conveniently located between the jail in Hillsborough County, if you know where the jail is, or the casino.
Right.
Just between those two at 3C's Catering, Cafe Delaney.
So, so one of the other reasons I loved Mark jumping on board with our show is the fact that this is, you guys have got a lot going on. You have, now you're doing a show with us.
Right.
You have your own podcast.
We you know, it was funny when we first formed RGA back in the day. Life Improvement Radio said, "Hey, you need to do a podcast," and I'm like, "What the heck is that?" And he's like, "Oh, that's where you listen on the computer." And you know, us old guys, I'm like, "People actually listen on the computer?"
Yeah.
I mean, I thought it was an access to the internet and porn, but there's really like radio shows.
There's more out there.
There's
than that,
more
yeah.
out there. So we've been doing podcasts before podcasts are cool. We're in well over 200 episodes. It's sort of a big deal when you go onto Apple and iTunes. We've got a couple podcasts that have gone kind of platinum. We had an insurance agent who I mistakenly said, "What's the most unusual thing you've ever insured?"
Oh my.
That would be Daryl Stidham with Allstate. You need to listen to his podcast, because we're going to keep this a G-rated TV. But there's just different podcasts that have not only are they informative, they're educational, and they're entertaining. So we did that before podcasting was cool.
So as a new member coming in, what can I expect?
So wow, what can I expect? Well, first of all, you get a lot of emails. You get an email with our membership book on how to network. We don't make you do any university classes or go to things, but there's certain moms. We do what we call moms, dads, bobs, and families.
And what do those stand for?
They're our own acronyms. Moms are meetings outside the meetings. Dad's are discussions after dinner. Bob's are business over breakfast. When we get together, it's not really to sell each other. It's to teach us how to sell you to your fellow networkers. So you ask for key things like, John, what would I listen for to help refer you when someone speaks about their business and the challenges they're facing? Because whenever I meet with someone, my question I always ask is, you know, I have about 800 of my closest business referral partners, and one of them can help you. What are you struggling in your business today? And if they tell me I would know somebody who can help them with banking, with getting their business promoted, with websites, with t-shirt design, auto repair, their office smells, I can't think of somebody has ever said something that I haven't said. I know
And then you get a phone call from this lady that she really wants to do an interview with you. She will chase you down to get that interview done. I'm just telling you right now, and she does a wonderful job.
She does a wonderful job.
Really, really
so
does.
It's not just me. We have 2 area directors. We have a lot of team leaders. There's about 40 of those folks, and almost 900 members. And we have a whole crew behind us. We have a professional writer on staff that interviews. She does I'm not that smart. I just know really smart people.
Well, that's what you're doing. You're supposed to surround yourself with people that know more than you, so you look really good.
Well, then I have completed that task.
You are golden.
I am on fire when it comes to that.
So how do people find you?
RGAnetwork.net. If you want to connect with us socially, of course, Revenue Generating Activities Network on Facebook or LinkedIn. So we're practically all over. If you like our page, we will definitely like your page back.
All right, so we got about 30 seconds left here, and just one good, quick parting.
RGA, it's networking that works for today.